Welcome back to the Livin Every Breath podcast. It's been a while since we've been here. I am Megan, a 33-year-old mom of two. In November of 2024, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer. At the moment, I do not have any cancer in my body, which is remarkable, and we are very excited to be able to share our experience with you. This is my husband, Matt.
Hi everyone, happy to be here again.
I just want to let everyone know that it might be a little heavy, this topic. We wanted to go over the side effects of cancer, all encompassing. And this is by no means any medical lecture, but just my lived experience. The reason that I probably took so long to make a second podcast is it's been a pretty bad flu season, but it seems that maybe the scar tissue in my lungs or whatever it is, I just seem to get hit a little harder. So I was out for about 4 weeks.
A few different times. In
November, and then I seemed to be better around the holidays, thankfully. And then it hit me again in January. But we're heading to Florida soon, so
warm weather should help. It's funny that none of these symptoms really happen over the summer because it's not really cold season. So I think the first podcast we did was really us talking about Megan's kind of story and how we got the diagnosis, and I think this one will be an important one to kind of give like a peek behind the curtains as to kind of what her everyday life looks like and how it's impacted her, because as good as she is at staying positive about everything, there is stuff that she doesn't really show. So that's what Megan means when she said it might be a little heavier than some, but there's no better person to talk about it.
So another unexpected physical side effect is, like I said, I have the scar tissue in my lungs. And for some reason, every month or every couple months now, around the time that I get my period, I experience some chest pain before, during, and then after. And obviously, before diagnosis, the pain that I feel, I probably would have gone to see a doctor or the hospital, but we have been there quite a few times, and now we kind of know we kind of wait a little bit to see if it will pass, which can be scary during those times. Sometimes I don't wait. Sometimes we end up calling 911, but...
And really, especially the first one, I mean, like we knew colds would hit a little bit differently. We didn't understand the impact of scar tissue in lungs, so I think the first time that you had a cold was when we first called 911 and went, got scans, everything, the whole gambit, and it turned out there was nothing there. And the best kind of explanation the doctors could give us was that it likely is just scar tissue, which is not as stretchy as kind of some of the other tissue in our lungs. So that's very common, but obviously we found out the hard way, kind of waking up in the middle of the night, being concerned that there was chest pain that coincided with the cold. So really just kind of finding some stuff out along the way, kind of as we go.
Yeah, and then another thing is I had cancer up my spine, which is now being replaced with new bone, which is very exciting. I love that my body is healing itself. I am so happy that the medication I'm on, it was working well, but the new bone growth does come with back pain. So it comes and goes, and it's honestly not as bad as before when there was actually cancer in my spine. So I try to look at the positives there, even on the tough days.
Yeah, and I think seeing the bone growth on the CT and PET scans, it not only excites us, but our doctor NJ just is extremely excited. She loves showing us kind of the shiny white spots on Megan's spine, which is obviously not common for a lot of people her age, but just the fact that we can kind of really see tangible evidence as like this is really working, just gives us a lot of hope for the future.
Yes. So living in the body that once held a good amount of cancer, it's just learning. We're constantly learning and trying to take the good with the bad. Some days I feel really strong. I'm at the gym, I'm working out. Other days my body tells me, you need to put your feet up and sit on the couch. And I try to do that as much as possible with a 2 and a 4-year-old.
And I unfortunately am the person that tries to make her sit down and relax a little bit, because coming from someone who's been active her whole life, I know how difficult it is at age 33 to kind of have to take a break and know your limits at times. So I'm just there to kind of help her through that and try to kind of keep her from really overexerting herself.
Yes, but I also believe movement is medicine, and that part of my healing came from the gym and being committed to lifting weights and to working the scar tissue in my lungs to hopefully make it more flexible.
Absolutely. It's no burpees.
No burpees. Another type of side effect is just the side effect that comes with the medication that I take. Like I said, it is doing its job, and we are so excited for the response that I've had. However, it comes with some issues, such as like digestion issues, I would say. Not to get too gross, but it's constipation or diarrhea. It's just, that's kind of what comes with it. So you kind of get used to that, but can be obviously difficult at times just trying to enjoy your life and out and about. It definitely, I pick and choose. I tried to pick a good time to take my medication at kind of around dinner time, so it's before bed, but I'm sleeping through most of when it first kicks in. I've also experienced a pretty good amount of neuropathy. Luckily, my medicine was able to the dose was changed, which had a huge relief. I would say most of my day for the first year, or like 9 months, my hands and feet were just constant tingling, feeling uncomfortable in the morning, like to step on the ground.
Yeah, I think that's something that for those out there that aren't aware of what neuropathy is, and because obviously we were a couple of those people a year and a half ago, it's really, it starts with tingling in your hands and your feet, and it can get so bad that it ends up being kind of, you're unable to use your hands and your feet. It luckily has not impacted Megan in that sense to date, but just that is kind of one of the main side effects that comes with the drug that she's on. So we've learned a lot about that and kind of how to manage it through lowering doses on every other day, etc.
And then there's always the nausea, which is, again, so much better. It's crazy. I started taking the medication, and then my body kind of like slowly but adjusted to it, because I was taking nausea medicine before my medication daily when I first started, and luckily it's gotten better. But there are obviously still times and days where I have to still take the medication in order to not feel nauseous. And then the dreaded weight gain, which I didn't have for like 9 months. Obviously, if I feel like this is something that might come as not a joke to some people, but I used to say, like, I didn't want cancer to put me in my college jeans, but I'm happy to be here. Obviously not happy to be with cancer, but I was feeling really good about myself and the way I looked, and then about 2 months ago,
2 or 3 months ago,
it just started out of nowhere, and I honestly don't even eat French fries. I don't eat pizza. I barely have pasta, maybe 1 or 2 bites of somebody else's. I get like double green beans on the side of everywhere I go.
Yeah, her new guilty pleasure is a handful of nuts.
Yes, I definitely eat too many nuts. I don't know if that's the weight gain is coming from the nuts, but yeah, so my medication, that is one of the side effects. I think we heard 80% of the people on it have weight gain. So I'm currently dealing with that. I gained over 20 pounds in the past year, some of which I probably needed to put on because I was really small when I first was diagnosed. The cancer had caused me to lose some weight, but definitely didn't need all 25.
I would argue against that, but it is, that was one of the absolute known side effects that our doctor told us about. She said it typically within the first 12 months you'll start seeing weight gain. It impacted Megan shortly after.
I thought I had escaped it.
Shortly after that 12-month period. I do think there is, of course, like Megan said at the beginning, this is in no way a medical lecture. Please don't take medical advice. But I would like to think that because the drug is working so well in her body and there's no evidence of disease, kind of when she puts it into her body each day, it can't really fight cancer anymore. So it's doing something else, which one of those symptoms being weight gain. So it is unfortunately good and bad. I would like to think that because she is starting to put on this weight is because obviously there is no evidence of disease. But we don't exactly know 100%.
No, but we're going to figure it out. Another thing that can happen is mood swings. And I would couple this with brain fog, but both of those... it's just hard to tell. Like,
yeah.
You obviously are just human. So, like, it's tough being a young couple of young kids in general. Like, I feel like all of our friends, of course, like, everyone has bad days and good days. But it's hard to tell what would maybe be with the medication or just, like, natural human response to life in general, especially as a cancer, like, living with cancer.
Yeah, I'd say this is one, in my opinion, one side effect that has not really kicked in. I think every time we meet with the doctor, that's one of the first questions she asks me is kind of, do you see any changes in Megan's kind of mood throughout the day? And I really don't. That being said, do we get frustrated at times with our 2 and 4-year-old if they constantly say no to us? Yes. But I don't think that it really had a lasting effect that is noticeable as of right now.
Yeah, and brain fog's tough because, to be honest, I lost and forgot everything before this, so I don't know if it's the medication or just more of me being me. I kind of joke, my mother-in-law said to me one time, you'd be walking around without your arm if it wasn't attached to your body, and I use that every time they're like, at the appointment, they're like, do you experience brain fog? Yeah, but
yeah.
Like since I was probably 12 years old, so.
I think also an element there is for the last probably about 2 years, we've had 2 kids sleeping in our bed most of the night. So whether it's brain fog or just general tiredness and fatigue, it's again hard to kind of discern between the two.
Yeah. Side note, we finally got them out of their bed. I mean, into their own beds. And then we now have water damage in their room. So they're back in our bed.
Yep, the insurance adjuster just left.
So I also have high cholesterol now because of the medication that I'm taking to fight the cancer. And the high cholesterol medication comes with its own side effects, like stiffness and soreness in my ligaments and joints. So I would say, since I am an avid gym goer, it's also hard to know what's the medication or what's just like a tough workout at the gym. But many days I am in some sort of pain throughout most of the day.
Yeah.
It's not all the time, but it's almost all the time.
Yeah, and this one is definitely one that Megan has done a very good job of combating. I think, her cholesterol spiked immediately when she started taking the medicine. It has come down since, and really the only high cholesterol that she has in her body is her good cholesterol, which is a testament to how much she works out. Her doctor was very impressed with kind of how high her her good cholesterol is, and her bad cholesterol is right in the middle of what range they would consider normal. So I think they actually compared you to an athlete.
The Olympic athlete.
An Olympic athlete that was also undergoing treatment, and her cholesterol is very good when stacking up against other people. So that is unfortunately a testament to how much she works out, which I try to reel her in a little bit at times.
And then another medication I'm on is for blood thinners, since I had many blood clots when I was diagnosed with cancer. So it seems like my cancer would cause more blood clots if it was to come back. So it's more preventative, which actually gives me peace of mind sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny that we're constantly talking and concerned about the cancer in her body or lack thereof right now. But really what started this whole journey was DVTs in her arm and a pulmonary embolism. So there's always that on the back of our mind as well. Those you can't really see as well with CT or PET scans, but really just something else that is kind of constantly on our mind, which actually brought us to the ER last week as well.
Yes, in an ambulance.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that part of I'm having like a tachycardia problem, which I will be seeing a cardiologist for. But I was just sitting in bed and
I had just got home.
Well, you had just woken me up. I was sleeping, so I was kind of startled, but just sitting there, a couple times my heart rate got as high as 150. So I kind of just freaked out. I feel like rightfully so. Maybe we could have drove to the ER instead of taking an ambulance, but
with 2 kids, it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Shout out to Kelsey and Nick, my sister and brother-in-law, for being there at 11 p.m. to come over. And I know we have several family members that would do it, but it's just, you never know who you're going to need and whether they're going to be awake.
Yeah, they live a mile away, so they're just like on call. Next, I'd like to talk about the emotional side effects of cancer. So outside of the medication, just like our day-to-day, emotionally, like I want to be honest, there are not a lot of negative side effects for me, I would say. That's being very truthful. I think that the biggest one is I do have to be constantly aware of my body, whereas before I really wasn't. Like I could just kind of, if there was a pain in my head, I was like, it's a headache, I'll take some Tylenol, that's fine. Now if there's a pain in my head, I'm like, do I have brain cancer? And that kind of goes for like all the pains throughout my body.
Right.
Like luckily, I know my cancer is a slow moving cancer, so I know that I do have some time, so I usually try to like let it pass for a day or two, and if the pain's still there, I will contact my team. I'm on plenty of websites where people have other cancers that develop because their body already had this one, and now they have like this really fast growing cancer, and it's a problem. So I'm just always worried about pain being cancer pain or regular pain. I would say like it's hard to be in our 30s because our bodies weren't old before I was diagnosed with cancer. Like I could do a million burpees and it wasn't a problem, but there are plenty of people as you grow older in your 30s anyways, your body just naturally has pain. Right. So I'm usually like, hey Matt, when you get up in the morning, does your feet hurt when you touch the ground? He's like, yep. And I'm like, okay, good. That wasn't a cancer pain.
Yeah, I think like it said differently and very much similar that I think anxiety is really the only thing. I don't think really either of us were very anxious people before this diagnosis, and now it's really just the unknown. Like, I mean, we can see the scans and get peace of mind, and we can have the Foundation 1 blood tests and have peace of mind that there's no cancer circulating her body. But at the same time, a month later, when we know that the scans aren't for 4 more months, if she starts incurring pain, is it truly that slow moving of a cancer, or is it potentially spreading? Like there is a lot of anxiety that comes with it, in the sense that just you never know kind of what these pains are. I do try to give Meg a little bit of peace of mind with those pains of growing older, because I experience those as well. But it's really just kind of not knowing how serious something is. I mean, the heart getting up to 150, obviously that was extremely concerning, especially the fact that it happened a couple times. So, and I had been having chest pain previous to that, which again, like we said, that happens, but together it was just like kind of alarming. Yeah, and it turned out that her x-ray looked fine and her blood work looked fine, but now we just have a cardiologist that we're going to meet with, just for monitoring that moving forward, because it has happened a couple times. It has never gotten up to 150, but and I'm someone who, because I work out so often, like I monitor my heart rate almost at all times. So, and my resting heart rate is like 72.
So I should not, which is actually higher than my medication makes it like that. It kind of, my medication slows down my heart. My heart's like, no, it's supposed to be faster. They're like constantly fighting each other. I look at my watch 24/7. So when it started shooting up like that, I was like, oh no. But then anxiety also adds to your heart rate. It's really tough in that sense. I feel like we live in 3-month increments. Like we have a good scan, and for probably 3 weeks to 6 weeks, depending on the pain in my body, we're good. We're fine. And then you start nearing the next scan, so you're getting further from the good news, and you're wondering if, like I said, is the pain a cancer pain or is it not? Yeah. So most days I would say I'm able to move past it. To everyone else on the outside, Matt hears it all, so people are always like, you're so good, and I'm like, you ask my husband. I've already complained 6 times today, but
there is whenever we're laying in bed and she goes to her watch, that is when my heart rate starts spiking, because she does go with a lot unsaid, but once she looks at her watch and starts kind of concerning herself with her heart rate, that's when I start to get really concerned, and I try not to escalate it and really ask her questions, but to try to rub her back and make sure that we just deep breaths and kind of try to keep her calm if we're going through one of those episodes.
And it usually works. I also think about death more than I ever did before. I feel like I always thought you never know when your last day is. But obviously now I think about it more, just because this is something that I do see people living 20 plus years on, and that's where I plan to be. But 20 years I'll be in my 50s. I planned on living until I was 80. So which still is a plan, but it's just something that I never thought I would have to think about so often. I don't feel sad about or grief towards my old life. I think that everyone's growing, and everyone around us has things going on, and I don't think anyone's problems are bigger than someone else's. So I don't know. Yeah, I think about death, but it's not scary thinking about it. Just definitely a side effect, I would say.
I personally do not like thinking about it, but I totally understand.
Yeah, and it's tough because I joined a community which is a great community I never knew existed before I had diagnosis, and I found so much support and love in the people that I've met and the pages that I follow. But in that is also, the sad stories. Of course, there are people that were diagnosed even after me that have already passed. Take a little bit of their story along with me wherever I go. So I would say sometimes it's hard to be responding so well to medication when you see all these people that are amazing people that also deserve to respond well, and they're not having the same experience.
Yeah, and I think that's a big piece, that everyone experiences their cancer journey differently. Megan has chosen to kind of embrace it and just kind of what's next. That is her mindset, which it has been since the diagnosis. Is just, how can I better myself? How can I combat these side effects? We have a little visitor.
You want to come sit on my lap?
And obviously some people don't have that same kind of lookout, which totally understandable. I mean, it's hard to say someone is approaching it wrong, or if it's different than the way you're approaching it. That was Harper. So we just set her up in Grace's bedroom for now. But they will, I think, be joining us in a little bit for the Joy Jar. But what I was saying is, really, everyone's experience is different. And I think the way Megan has approached it is kind of inspiring in a way, just in the sense that she's really, really embraced it. Because this is the new normal. I mean, it's either you can kind of feel bad for yourself, or you can kind of just accept it and do whatever you have in your power to kind of combat everything going on. So really, really proud of her. Obviously, we've talked through all of these side effects and kind of how they've impacted her, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, these are all really kind of small in my opinion, compared to kind of what could be going on. So just very inspired by Megan on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, thank you. But I've been given like opportunities that I would have never imagined. I've met some amazing people. Before this, I loved talking if you met me in person, but I was never into public speaking. And now I plan to talk to anyone and everyone that will listen on any platform, big or small. I just feel like cancer didn't quiet my voice. It amplified it. I feel I get saddened by the internet a little bit because I see people, talking about like their sad life of having cancer, and I totally feel that. I think everyone experiences it differently, like Matt said, but I truly don't feel that way. And sometimes I feel like there has to be other people out there that are like only living the positive side of it. I don't want to take away from other people's sadness, but I feel like we're not really heard. And that kind of can be upsetting. And I just want everyone out there that is feeling, still living their lives and feeling happy and almost feeling bad about feeling happy. Other people are here too. You shouldn't feel bad about being happy and living your life. I tend to enjoy moments more now. I feel like I reflect, if the girls are having a tantrum or fighting nonstop like they can do sometimes, I take a step back and, put on some music and we try to dance it away because obviously I feel like I didn't realize how precious life was before this, and that's beautiful. I get up every morning and I just think like I get to go to the gym. I get to cook dinner. I get to drive my kids around. Like I get to do all these things, and there are so many people that are either living and can't do it and wish they could, or that are no longer here with us. So I don't know. I love life.
Yeah, I mean, in November of 24, when we got the diagnosis, we didn't know what life was going to look like. So to be able to live it really as normally as everyone else is just kind of, it's great. I mean, the way that like everything has happened is obviously kind of a bad circumstance that Megan has just turned into kind of a positive.
Yeah, and like you said, back at diagnosis too, like I've always been positive at the core.
Right.
I mean, when I was sick on the couch, I couldn't even finish a sentence in a book without having a coughing fit. My back pain was so bad I couldn't walk around. Even in those moments, like I was happy, I was hopeful. I just looked around and just like my life is just everything I ever wanted it to be, and I am so happy to be here, and I hope to be here for many, many, many more years. But I don't know. I just feel like cancer is, obviously, I wish it wasn't part of my life, but it is. And my life is awesome, so.
And like I think getting your story out has been a huge part of the last year. I mean, you were on the Jimmy Fund Strikeout Cancer on Nesson. You were
on the Today Show.
On the Today Show with Will Reeve, which is unbelievable. You were on the field during a halftime show at Gillette. I don't know if we want to go into it at all, but you're going to be speaking to Foundation Medicine in an upcoming town hall. So there are a lot of opportunities out there to get her story, and Megan has chosen to choose yes for every single one of them, which I think is extremely important.
Yeah, so our life might not be easy, but no one's is. And with that being said, we will probably do the joy jar with our kids. I can describe it right now because once they're on our laps, we have no idea what's going to be said. But if you did not join us for the joy jar before, it's just a jar, Livin Every Breath, filled with little prompts that just helps you remember the joys in life, because life can be hard and joyful at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So it's just kind of looking at something little that can bring happiness and joy. But we will pull that when we have our kids back on our lap. See you soon. All right, we're back with our 2 little ones. What's your name?
Papa.
And how old are you?
2.
And what's your name?
Grace and I'm 4.
And they are here to do the
Joy jar.
the joy jar. All right, go ahead and pull one out. Let me see. What song instantly makes you happy? So what's your favorite song?
Do up, do up.
Do Wop, Do Wop. What song's that?
Herman the worm.
Herman the Worm. We love Herman the Worm. A song that instantly makes me happy is Walking in Memphis.
Mine is Good News by Shabuzi.
Oh, that's our...
That was the original anthem for our family. Once the diagnosis happened, my brother called me and said, I just heard this Shabuzi song.
Mama.
And I put it on, and I admittedly started crying in the car when I heard it, because it's all about just needing some good news. So that one makes me happy every time I hear it.
Yes, that's like our first reel we ever made was like us jamming to that song. Yeah. All right, G, your turn. Let me see. What is your favorite part of this season that we're in right now? So the winter season.
Fall.
No!
Your favorite part of this season is a different
What's your
season?
favorite part of the winter? Like right now? Do you like the snow?
Or do you like that we get to go down to Florida?
Because it's so cold up here.
Florida and 3 sleeps.
In 3 sleeps? Yes, we're going to Florida in 3 sleeps. And
I had this one.
Mine is I am a very big football fan. Go Pats.
Pats.
So when we're down in Florida, we will have the opportunity to watch the Patriots play the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
yes, in a hot tub.
Yes.
Yes. It's actually a pool, but we make Papa make it a hot tub for Mom, so she'll get in the water.
I don't like that
You don't like that? Why not?
because it's so yucky.
Well, what's your favorite part of the season?
I like the black, not the black snow. I like the white snow.
You only like the white snow. You don't like when the snow has dirt on it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Can you guys say bye?
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, had to shuffle the girls off again. But thank you for joining us today and finding the joy in the moments, whether they're big or small. If you are walking through a cancer diagnosis of your own, someone you love is, or if you're going through any hardship in life, just know that you can find joy. Like I said, it might be small, it might be quiet, or it could be loud, but it's there, and it's okay to feel anxious, pain, sadness, confusion, and joy at the same time. They can all be there. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.